following program is an exclusive Disruption Networks production.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
Good afternoon, everybody. Not looking at the right camera, am I? Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon. My name is Meg McGrogan, and I am your host of the Leveling Up podcast in partnership with the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce. If you are tuning in for the first time, this is the place to be connected with all of our local businesses in the Greater Utica area and all of our chamber members, and really to find out everything that's going on in the Mohawk Valley and to connect you with people behind the businesses in the Mohawk Valley region. So we're very excited to have you joining us, and this is the second season of Leveling Up. We took a brief hiatus after the holidays. We are now back for our 13th episode, so we're pretty excited to be kicking things off here in 2020. We're a little rusty today. It's computer error day, so hoping that we're going to do okay for the show. So thanks again for tuning in, whether you're listening or watching live or catching it after the fact. So in a few minutes, I'll be introducing today's guest who loves listening to podcasts, so I know he's excited to be on the show today. Before we get to that, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsors of the Disruption Network, Utica Coffee Roasting Company, and Saranac Beer. And also want to give a shout out to our chamber supporters who support the chamber all year long. They are Gilroy Kern and Gilroy, Mohawk Valley Health System, and our newest supporter, which is StaffWorks. So thank you to all three of them for supporting the chamber and everything we do, and for making things like this podcast possible. So first, as we do with every show, we will just get into what has been happening since the last show. Like I said, it's been a little bit of time. The last show in studio was actually in the beginning of December with Steve Karbowski, and then we did our last show of the year live from the Business of the Year Awards, which was a ton of fun. I'll show you guys a picture. This is me, Daria Helmer, our chair of the board, and Steve McMurray, who is the chair of our Publicity and Events Council, and that council helps plan all of our special events. So this was us on our little set on the stage at the luncheon. We had about 300 people at that luncheon, and it was a lot of fun to do the show live. So that was our program. It was really fun because we were able to really introduce people to the podcast who had never heard of it or didn't even know what a podcast was. So we had a lot of fun. We had a couple guests come up on the stage. We presented all of our awards and our videos that unveil each winner. So if you didn't catch that and you'd like to check it out, you of course can go to greateruticachamber.org and catch that episode. And it's really exciting to see all of the finalists featured in those videos and ultimately our winners unveiled. So I'll show you guys a picture of all of our winners. I got to get to the second page here. So these are all of our winners for the Business of the Year Awards. So congratulations again to them, the Community Foundation, Rising Phoenix Holdings Corp., and Adjusters International, Total Solutions, Munson Williams, Proctor Arts Institute, and of course, the D, the Disruption Network. So excited to see those guys win. And I did have to show, and Z's mad at me, but I got to show it. I got to show it. Picture of Z coming up to accept the award on behalf of the Disruption Network. So shout out again to all of our winners, but of course, especially to the Disruption Network who make it all possible here. And these guys have been super supportive and encouraging to me on getting the show up and running, and they just do a bang-up job here. So awesome job to you guys, and again to all the winners. So and the D's celebrating their 3rd anniversary this Saturday, and we're going to be at the Jewish Community Center on the 8th. All are welcome. You can find out information on disruptionnetwork.net on the Facebook page. So we hope you can join us Saturday to celebrate the D's anniversary. So other things that have been going on, we also celebrated the grand opening of the Hub, which is on Bleecker Street. Frank Katroup and his crew had a great ribbon cutting. If you haven't been to the Hub, they have a killer steak sandwich, all kinds of great specials, a boozy brunch, which is a lot of fun, so you can check that out down on Bleecker Street. And also wanted to share, we attended the press conference for StaffWorks Save a Life campaign, and look at that total, $1.8 million plus. And that goes to all area shelters for, humane societies and all shelters in the area, animal shelters. And what an increase, a major increase from 2018. They went from 680,000 to 1.8 million, which is insane. So what they do is they match each donation that comes in, and they do it for 1 month. They raised this amount of money. So kudos to that team. Awesome job. Anita Vitullo does an amazing job and supports all of our animal shelters. That's one of her biggest missions, and they have a Fun at the Community Foundation. So just wanted to give a congrats to them. We also celebrated our business after hours in March at Maida Lighting, which was so cool. We were in the factory where they produce all the lights there. If you've never been to check it out, their showroom is beautiful, but Max and the Cohen family, they do world-class installations all over the country, all over the world, so you definitely have to go check that out. So other than that, things going on with me. Obviously, we did have to postpone the last show. Sorry again to Jordan. But we're here now and had a brief hiatus of a sickness, which I'm never sick, so that was a big bummer. But since then, we took a trip to Woodstock, Vermont, which was fun. Hit up a couple breweries, which we love to do. So if you've never been out that way, Rutland Beer Works is great. Long Trail Brewery we stopped at. Harpoon we stopped at. And also we did Simon Pierce, which they make really cool glassware, glass blowing. So that was a lot of fun. If you're ever headed out that way, highly recommend those stops. And then before we get into introducing our guest, lastly, we have a benefit coming up for our good friend Brian Donovan. If you don't know him, you should know him. He's the owner of the Balanced Chef. They do healthy prepared meals. And Brian was unfortunately diagnosed with a brain tumor. He underwent successful surgery. They did remove the tumor. So we're doing a great benefit for him on the 15th at Mohawk Valley Wellness. All information, we will throw it up at the end of the show, but we're going to be broadcasting Leveling Up live at the benefit. There's going to be food, basket donations, which I'm handling. We have a lot of great baskets, by the way. And you can come make a donation. You can come work out, but you do not have to work out to come partake in the event. It's just a nice community event. Do not be intimidated coming to Mohawk Valley Wellness. It's a super supportive community. Definitely will welcome you with open arms, whether you've been there or not before. And like I said, you don't even have to work out. You can just come and participate, do the basket raffles, make a donation. It'll be a really fun event, again, to benefit Brian Donovan and his family. So without further ado, let's get into introducing our guest who is here with me today. His lovely mug there.
Can't even see it against that white background. It's disgusting.
So my guest today is Jordan Peters. Jordan is a Mohawk Valley native and graduated from New Hartford High School in 2006 and Syracuse University, go Cuse, in 2010. And he has a bachelor's degree in English, as do I, Jordan. I don't know if you knew that. After a brief stay at Boston area prep school, Jordan took a job as assistant director of recreation services at his alma mater, SU. And while working at SU, he completed his master's degree in sports management before returning to the Mohawk Valley to assume his current role as sponsorship and marketing director for the Boilermaker Road Race. And he's been there since 2016. He lives in South Utica with his lovely fiance, Jess, and his dog, Abby. So, Jordan, welcome. Let's get you on here. There we go. Ta-da. See? Things are working now.
Like magic. Nice job, Z. I was doubting you for a second.
I did that, Jordan. See, I have this little cube right here. Z's just looking pretty.
Wow, you give Meg a lot of control here.
Probably too much control. So Jordan, welcome.
Thanks, Meg.
So
Happy
excited,
to be here. I
yeah.
made it. Finally made it.
Yeah.
Leveling up.
I know. We're here, and we're really excited to talk about Jordan's career path. We're going to talk a little bit about Catalyst, too, right? Our young professionals group at the Chamber. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about the Boilermaker and everything that they have going on and a cool event that we're having tomorrow night.
Yes.
So why don't we start, Jordan, with your career path? We talked about in your bio, you graduated from New Hartford.
Oh, God, yeah.
Moved away for a little bit. So take us from the beginning.
It's such an exciting story, Meg. It really is. It's a pretty basic story. So, to be totally honest with you, I was probably in, if being honest with ourselves, the position that a lot of 18-year-olds are when they graduate from high school, which is like, I have no idea what I want to do, but my parents told me I got to go to college. I got into SU, this awesome school. I fell in love with the school itself, but I was totally without direction or anything like that.
Yep.
Nonetheless, I had a great time there. I played on the club hockey team. It was an awesome experience, but academically, I didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated. I started only finally getting serious about that, like my junior and senior year, when I was like, when that graduation was starting to loom, right?
Geez, Jordan, this tale sounds not familiar at all to me.
Yeah, it probably sounds familiar to a lot of English majors. I just knew that I kind of had an aptitude for writing, speaking, that kind of thing, and I knew that, I was told anyway that an English degree could be, parlayed into so many things. So that's the road I went with, and I'm actually really happy with it. I think it served me really well. I was able to, get a job, as a hockey director at a prep school in Boston, just because of my background with the sport, really.
Yeah.
And my English degree, I think, helped me, communicate in interviews and that kind of thing to put me in that spot. But I wasn't there too long. I moved back to SU, took a job with the university, which is an awesome employer. And the best thing about working there, obviously, was that, after I was a completely different person at 23 as I was at 18. So I was now newly focused, and I got a little more serious. And I took advantage of the remitted tuition benefits, so I got my master's degree
awesome.
Basically for free in sports management.
Yeah.
It seemed like a really fun thing to do, and I finished that in 2016, and stumbled upon a job posting for the Boilermaker road race in 2016. And when I saw the listing, I thought, like what a lot of people do. I'm like, what? This is a job? This is people work for the Boilermaker?
Yeah.
No, seriously, because I think that's somewhat unique, and for people that don't have the inside perspective like you do, they think they take it for granted. They think a bunch of volunteers, they probably get together like 2 months before the expo. Maybe they meet once a week and they put this thing together.
Yeah.
From the inside, that's obviously not how it works.
Now, had you run the race prior to that?
Yeah, I ran. I'm not a runner. Don't laugh. But I have run the Boilermaker 5 times, but I've never taken a step further than 9.3 miles.
Think more than me. Let's see. I think I've run it. If you count the committee runs, I probably run it 4. So you got me beat.
Yes, I mean, it was an awesome thing for me. The worst thing I would say about working for the Boilermaker is that I really can no longer run. I loved it. I think it's an awesome day.
You can't run.
Yeah, I can't run. I know it's a convenient excuse. No, but I really do miss that part of it.
Yeah.
I loved partaking in it. For me, it was always, I would have to get serious about the Boilermaker like come springtime, so it would force you to get into shape kind of every year. It was like kind of a little bit of that cycle. But without that looming specter of the Boilermaker, it's like, what's going to motivate me to get out and run, right?
Yeah,
and I think that's true for a lot of people. And I think, that's one of the good, transformative things about the Boilermaker.
Yeah.
It has a positive impact on a lot of people's lives.
Definitely. And I know, we'll get into that in a little bit, but I know that you guys are really focused on making sure people make healthy choices all year long.
Yeah.
And so you have other events that are coming up that will get people maybe thinking about lacing up those shoes a little bit earlier than maybe May or June. Yeah. So that's good. So you obviously have always been into the sports industry, and you got into this job. So talk about moving back here and how exciting that has been, because I know that's a big decision for a lot of people to make, and the area is definitely changing and probably didn't quite start happening when you came back. So it's really probably was a little bit of a curve coming back.
For sure. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I left this area in 2006 when I moved away. I usually stayed out in Syracuse during summers and stuff like that. So, until 2016, so that's 10 years, I really didn't live in Utica, other than visits.
holidays and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's from what I remember in 2000. I was a New Hartford kid, right? We know New Hartford kids, and I had the same attitude as a lot of people, which was that I'm not going to go down into Utica.
Yeah.
There's nothing, not for any, maybe no other reason other than there's just nothing for us. There's nothing for me there. But coming back in 2016, and what they call, I heard somebody call it this post Comets era.
Okay. That's fair. Yep.
And I think that's a pretty apt name for kind of the period we're going through.
Yeah.
It's obviously a completely different. My fiance Jess and I, we just bought a house in South Utica, so now we're here. We have a vested interest in the area and seeing the area prosper.
And let's see, I'm trying to think. The Comets started in 2013. 13 or 14? Yeah, 13. Right. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting. So there's been a lot going on that has gotten you a little bit more involved. Your job obviously gets you really involved in the community.
You have to have community pride, to work for the Boilermaker. Those two things go hand in hand. It's a community pride event. So
yeah. So I just want to talk about Catalyst for a minute. So we'll kind of go back and forth here a little bit between that and the Boilermaker.
Sure.
But so you're kind of moving back, getting into the community. Obviously, your job, like we said, automatically did that.
Right.
But then you took it one step further and started getting involved with the chamber.
Yeah.
So you started getting involved, coming to Catalyst things, and then became a member of the steering committee.
That's right.
So talk a little bit about why you made that jump and why that was important to you.
Sure. Yeah. So I came back. So my role with the Boilermaker has this element of sales to it, right? Before I took this job, I was completely unfamiliar with what. Granted, it's not a traditional sales kind of job, but there's definitely an element of it to that, and I had no background in that kind of thing, so. I was just like, well, I'm just gonna have to get to know people. The advice that was given to me was, don't think too much into it. Just meet people. Just be yourself.
Yep.
And just be involved with as many things as you possibly can. So I moved back. I actually had a lunch with Sarah Foster.
Okay.
And she kind of told me about it. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. That's exactly what I need. And to be honest with you, I'm the kind of person who. I am actually pretty introverted, so unless I'm forced to, get out there and meet people and get out of my shell a little bit, I probably wouldn't do it. So I was like, this is exactly what I need. I got active in it, and it was an alien thing to me. I had never really been a part of a professionals group like that before. It's obviously been an awesome thing. I applied and joined the steering committee soon after. So I've been with Catalyst 3 years. I've made some awesome friends through it. It's obviously gotten me involved with the chamber and, to know you. And it's helped me professionally and personally in so many ways. It's how I met your husband, Ryan, who's been a huge professional asset for me and for the Boilermaker.
Yeah, definitely.
So many good things have kind of spun out of it.
Out of Catalyst, yeah. And I think when Sarah was on, and she was, I think, the third episode or second episode, so you can go on the chamber website, greateruticachamber.org, and check out Sarah's episode too. But with Sarah's, we talked also about how important it is to surround yourself with really like-minded people who are, positive about the area. And like you said, making those connections are so important. It really is, and some people don't like hearing this, but it really is all who you know. And that doesn't mean that you're professionally not able to do something with the people that you know. It doesn't mean like, it's just who you know and not what you can do. You definitely have to put in the work, but knowing people definitely helps, and making those connections are very important.
For sure. All it does is going to make your job a lot easier. That's the only thing. So
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we have an event with Catalyst coming up tomorrow at the Boilermaker. So this is, I'm going to pull up the flyer really quick. So what we have tomorrow is our meetup. Hang on, I got to find it here. Okay, bear with me. I've gotten a little rusty. Okay, so we're having a meetup tomorrow at the Boilermaker, so you can come check out a little bit about Catalyst and how you can get involved with Catalyst. It's very casual. There's no cost, thanks to Jordan and the Boilermaker. They are providing Saranac beer, wine, and appetizers. We would like you to RSVP just so we can get numbers. So if you shoot over to our website and RSVP, that'd be great. But it's a free event, and basically it's just going to be casual networking, and we're going to let you guys know how you can get more involved if you'd like. You don't have to, coming doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden, married to something. But if you just want to come check it out and meet some people, great introduction. A lot of people get really nervous. Like Jordan said, it's a little intimidating. And if you don't know people and if maybe you're a little bit introverted and you're thinking like, oh God, like I don't even know how to take the first step to, meet people and get involved. This is a great casual opportunity to do that.
That's
and
right.
At the very least, grab a free beer.
Exactly. Come on, come on. And so, we'll have social lubricant there too.
Yeah.
So,
So Jordan and my husband, Ryan, probably need that social lubricant, right? Ryan won't go to any networking things that don't have alcohol.
Yeah, no,
That's
why
not
would
totally
you?
true, but.
But, Meg, that's right. And, that's the thing. It's totally casual. And, I think people that don't know what Catalyst is, they don't know exactly how it works. And believe me, we just want you to come and we just want you to have a good time and just totally be yourself. And I was saying in the meetings that we had planning this event, we're not going to bring anybody in and sit them down and try and sell them a timeshare or anything like that. We're just going to have a good time. We're going to have some pizza. We're going to have some beer and some wine. That's it.
Yeah, that was my favorite. He's like, we can't make it one of these like timeshare things where we're selling you down and trying to sell you something. So you do not expect that. That's not what it's going to be at all. Stephen Turnbull, who is our chair, will get up and just say a few very brief words, just so you guys know what you can do if you want to take that next step and be involved. But like we said, at the very least, come out, have a beer, get to know some people.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So other things that, you do with the community. So you coach hockey at New Hartford, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Hockey's been a huge part of my life. Like most people that play hockey, you start when you're a kid. So I don't really remember any part of my life where hockey hasn't been a big part of it. I played high school at New Hartford. And so naturally when I came back, I had the opportunity to become the assistant coach there. So that was I've been doing that for 3 years now. And it's been a blast. I mean, it's tiring at times, doing that outside of work hours and stuff. And, last night we were on a school bus to Auburn. And I mean, those can be tiring, but it's totally worth it to get to be around the game that you love and, be able to share it with, younger kids and hopefully teach them something. I don't know if they think I know anything, but no, it really is a blast. Yeah. And our head coach, Justin Shackler, first-year head coach, is an awesome guy.
Oh, that's cool.
And a little bit of irony, he's a Clinton guy. New Hartford and Clinton are like big rivals. Yeah. But it's been awesome. And one of the things that's made me realize is that, I'm 32 years old. I don't think I'm that old. Yeah. But being around kids who are
hang out with a bunch of high schoolers.
Oh, my God. Being around kids that are like sometimes 14, 15, 16 years old is like, that'll make anybody feel old. Yeah. I don't care. I mean, I don't even understand the way some of these kids talk. But yeah. They think Eminem is like classic rock. Did you guys know that?
That is a good one. That's terrible. So if Eminem's classic rock, let's see, who's older than Eminem? God, I don't know. Give us a name. Z.
I don't know what they want to think about. My favorite band is Pearl Jam. I don't even know what they want to think about.
I know. What's like Grateful Dead? Like oldies to them? Yeah. Oh my God. That's so funny. And you guys have a game coming up Friday, right? With Clinton?
Yeah. So the big rivalry game, New Hartford and Clinton, is this kind of a storied rivalry when it comes to hockey. It really is. And so we're going to the arena on Friday, and in a little take. That's going to be a really cool game. Not only, our head coach is a Clinton alum, and the the Clinton head coach is a New Hartford alum.
Oh wow! So that'll be an interesting game.
And we're going to be both teams are going to be wearing camouflage jerseys. It's going to be a benefit game for the Veterans Outreach Center.
That's awesome.
So it'll be really cool. And back. In the early 2000s and the 90s, when New Hartford and Clinton played each other in the Clinton Arena, it was sold out. I mean, there's 2,000 people there. I don't think the current group of high school kids has ever been a part of an environment like that. Hopefully we can bring something like that back and let them experience that.
So Friday night, if you're looking for something to do, it's at Clinton or New Hartford?
Clinton Arena.
Okay, at Clinton Arena, which also is, they won the Craft Hockeyville Challenge, so that's really cool. You can go be a little nostalgic, head to Altieri's, grab a pizza,
exactly.
Right? Yep. That's our favorite thing to do in Clinton. We love Altieri's.
Maybe a quick stop at the Rock. Huh?
Yeah, there you go, Don's Rock, which my great-grandmother used to own, by the way.
Oh, wow.
It was Zaza's before it was Don's Rock.
Oh, cool.
I think I talked about that on our first episode. I can't remember.
Nice little piece of history.
Yeah, there you go. So you volunteer to coach the hockey, right?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a volunteer. I do get paid.
You do get paid, okay. But it's important to
I do feel like I'm volunteering my time sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. And also, you're getting married coming up, right?
Yeah, that is volunteer work.
That's voluntary,
Yeah.
right? All right, we got to pull up a picture of you and Jess because I love this picture. That's when you guys got engaged, right?
Yeah, that's what we kind of engaged. That's Valley View.
And your dog?
That's Abby.
So cute.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's Jess. We love Jess.
Yep.
Jess comes to all of our chamber stuff too.
Yes.
So that's exciting. You guys are getting married in the summer?
May 23rd.
May. Oh, that's coming up quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be here
very quick.
Very soon. Yeah. May
Yeah.
23rd at the train station.
Very exciting.
Yep.
Local wedding too.
Local wedding.
We
yeah,
love
of
to
course.
hear
It's
that.
got to be. Utica themed wedding. Yep. Chicken
awesome.
riggies and greens for dinner.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so let's talk about your job responsibilities with the Boilermaker a little bit.
Sure.
And I do want to talk. I know we of course want to talk about the new logo and things like that, but I think kind of the importance of Catalyst, what you do with hockey, getting involved in the community, really, kind of ties into the Boilermaker too, because like you said, a lot of people don't realize that there's paid staff there.
Sure.
But with those paid staff to complement is a lot of volunteers
Absolutely.
that make this happen. And I
Yeah.
think that makes the Boilermaker really unique because you guys do rely heavily on a lot of volunteers. So how many staff members do you have?
So we just hired a new full-time person. So I think that makes 4 of us that are full-time, and Cindy works 3 days a week.
Yeah. So that's a heavy lift for an event of that magnitude for
Yeah.
a small staff.
Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about it. But like you said, it's pretty simple. Without the volunteer effort we have, this event simply doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's kind of humbling being a paid staff member to know that obviously we work hard, but there's so many people who work just as hard.
Yeah.
And they do it for nothing. They do it only because they believe in the Boilermaker as a good thing for this community. And so that's humbling to see.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's part of the reason I felt like, if we're going to, if I personally am in any position to inspire maybe young people like our age or younger to get involved with the Boilermaker in the same way to keep this thing going for another 43 years,
Yeah.
I kind of had to walk the walk a little bit. So if I'm going to ask people to give selflessly of their time, I had to do the same.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I volunteer numerous places, just to kind of, get into that mindset a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. And our community is so unique in that way. I think, not many communities people would
For sure.
donate their time.
I don't
like
think the
that.
Boilermaker exists the way it does in a bigger city.
No, no.
Tim Reed used to say this all the time. He's absolutely right. This is a big city event in a small town, and that's why it's so unique, because
Yeah.
it's got that unique combination.
Yeah. Because what's the post-race party, about 40,000 it gets up to?
Yeah, I don't know if it's quite 40,000, but I think it's 30,000.
Yeah.
30,000 plus.
The multiplier, you figure, what's the cap? I'm rusty on the numbers.
So
the
registered
15K?
runners, 14,500 registered runners for the
Okay.
15K, and another 4,500 for the 5K.
For the 5K,
So
yeah.
19,000 total registered
Yeah,
runners.
plus all their families. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I know we used to go through, and again, I'm rusty on the numbers, but the kegs for the brewery, I want to say it was like 256 is in my mind.
I
or
think you
something
might
like
exactly.
That.
I was going to.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that. I think that's exactly right. I think that's what it says in the media guide.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's before, you have to remember, most people are crossing the finish line around 10 if you're running the 15K.
Yeah.
So that's really between like 10 and noon. So in 2 hours, I mean, the 5K runners get there a little sooner.
Yeah, they help out. Yep, they get there
But
and they get them
still.
tapped. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you do for the Boilermaker with your roles and responsibilities. I know obviously you do the graphic design because you work with Ryan on the logo. But what's like a day-to-day, like when people see the Boilermaker, what are they seeing that you're responsible for?
Yeah, I mean, so it's right in the title, right? So I'm responsible for the sponsorship, which is another huge aspect of this race that maybe you wouldn't see from the outside looking in. It's all about, no, it's about this. Not only do the runners and the volunteers come together to make this happen, but the business community comes together to make this happen.
Yep.
I mean, there's 70 plus corporate sponsors who give super generously to our organization to keep this thing going in the way that it does. Because, each year this race grows a little bit in some way. The organization grows. We do other races too. In order to keep the registration fees where they are, at least.
Which are pretty reasonable if you look at
Yeah,
other
they
races.
really, they really are. I think people realize that. We need the corporate support in order to make that happen. And makes my job really easy because the Boilermaker is not a hard thing to sell to this community. You know, it's something that people want to be a part of. So we have to thank, you know, all of our sponsors.
Yeah, and a couple of them are chamber members. I think your top sponsors.
I think a lot of them are. Yeah, I mean, depending on the time of year, it's kind of cyclical about what I'm devoting most of my time to. You know, this time it's you know, around this time of year, I'm going through that process of you know, re-signing sponsors and going through, you know, the contracts that are associated with each one of those sponsors are completely different.
And
some of them are
some
of them are very long, some of them are shorter. So, you know, there's some solicitation of potential, you know, other new businesses in the area or whatever. But, you know, at some point, which is probably coming up pretty soon, that part kind of starts to end.
Yep.
And now it turns to, okay, now how am I going to activate the promises that we made to each and every one of these people?
Yeah.
And that goes hand in hand with, you know, the marketing of the overall race and promotion of all the things that we do and creating the brand image of the Boilermaker, because, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, we've come to realize over the past couple of years is this Boilermaker has been around for 42 years now. And it's not just a race, you know, part of our, right? More than a race.
Yep.
Right?
Earl's favorite line, Earl Reed,
Yep.
founder, yep.
But it's a brand. The Boilermaker is a brand now.
Yep.
So we've got to figure out a way to kind of leverage that to do more than we've done for the past 42 years. More races, more community outreach. We can do more good.
And I know a lot of that was started. I mean, of course, there's been a lot of great directors of the Boilermaker. You know, I know Tim Reed, the former director, was very, you know, conscious about getting out there in the community, making sure that people are, you know, thinking about healthy living and healthy lifestyles. I know you guys started the community garden, and now Mark Donovan is doing a great job. Really kind of, you know, making sure you guys have different initiatives coming out.
For sure.
One of those things was the mural, which I thought was really cool, which Ryan designed. So I want to pull that up. So this is Jordan in action. You can't really see the whole mural in this picture, I just realized. I was trying to get a good picture of you. But this is Jordan at the ribbon cutting that the chamber did for the mural. So I guess we'll kind of tease it here. You'll have to go down and see it for yourself.
Yeah, you gotta come see it.
But if you head down to the finish line, which hopefully everybody knows where that is, but it's right outside of the tour center of the FX Matt Brewery. This beautiful mural is out on the wall there and at Boilermaker headquarters, and it's well lit at night and really just brought a great piece of artwork, I think, to the Varick Street and Brewery District area. So just another, you know, one of the things that you guys are working on. Something else that I thought was really cool is that promotion that you guys did on New Year's Day. It is, I guess, New Year's Day at midnight, right?
Exactly.
So tell us about that and how did that go for you guys?
It went really well. You know, it was just an experiment on our part. We tried to figure out ways to kind of spice things up a little bit from year to year. And, you know, it was just a part of that that New Year's resolution and, you know, challenge and, you know, challenging yourself, which, you know, it was only for the 15K, mind you. You know, we promoted that, you know, to go in hand with 2020, we were going to take 2,020 registrants. We were surprised with how quickly we reached that in the early morning hours of New Year's Day. So, you know, Jim, Mark, and I, we kind of got on the phone and we were like, you know, I think there's so many people that still want to take advantage of this promotion because it came with a couple cool little perks. Let's keep it open until 2 o'clock. Right? Let's keep it open until 2:20 p.m.
You were supposed to do it until, what was the original cutoff?
Until we reached 2,020 registrants.
Okay.
Right? We reached it so quickly, we thought, let's keep it open. So we ended up with, we kept it open until the afternoon and we ended up with a little over 3,000 registrants.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, no big deal. It doesn't affect the cap or anything like that. But what it, you know, just a little PSA for people who are interested in registering for the Boilermaker out there, what that might mean is that we might sell out quicker than we have the past couple of years. So my advice would just be to not wait.
And when does registrations open? It's not open yet, right?
No, it's not open yet. If you ran last year, you'll have early access, or if you deferred last year, that's March 5th. If you hadn't participated or deferred last year, then you'll have to wait for open registration, which is just a week after that. I don't know, March 11th, 12th, somewhere in that time frame.
So you have about a month to decide if you're going to be in shape or not.
Well, you can register and then you can get into 15K shape. But, Yeah, part of the thing with the New Year's Day registration is, and this is another thing that we worked with Ryan on. We developed this, this marketing campaign around this phrase. It's supposed to be hard, right? Now, I'll admit that I stole this from a movie that I love.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, A League of Their Own. You know that movie?
Okay, yeah. Zeno's, yeah. I do know A League of Their Own, but didn't know that the line was
So
from
Tom
that.
Hanks is like the funniest movie character, right? He's the baseball coach.
Yeah.
And he says to Gina Davis's character when she's complaining about how hard it is to be a professional baseball player, so it's supposed to be hard. Hard is what makes it great. He delivers it really well because he's Tom Hanks. But I always loved that, and I thought it fits so perfectly.
It does.
With the Boilermaker, and specifically with the 15K. I mean, that's our thing, is that the Boilermaker really is the 15K race. We're super proud of the 5K, and it's awesome that we have it, and a lot of people love it. And it's never going anywhere. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But we wanted to, after 42 years, kind of remind people that the Boilermaker is this 15K, and that 15K is hard, right? And
one of the hardest 50. I think most people would agree it's probably one of the hardest 15K, if not the hardardest 15K in the country.
It's got to be. I mean, we have world-class runners that come here, and they all say, we like coming and participating in the Boilermaker, but we know that we'll never set a 15K world record at the Boilermaker because it's an extremely hard 15K course. But it came from this thing that I personally have been, for the past couple of years, sitting at the expo at this registration table that we have there, and listening to hundreds of people come up the day before the race saying that they want to drop down to the 5K, which is totally fine. We allow that, right? There's a list of valid reasons why you might want to do that.
Oh, sure. Injuries,
Right.
just can't do it for whatever you
But watching it, we saw that, so many people just said they didn't want to. They didn't feel like it. They thought the 15K was too hard, or they hadn't trained appropriately, and they weren't ready. And it kind of got me to thinking, that's a little concerning because we don't want to see the 15K and the 5K come to here, and maybe even someday the 5K get bigger than the 15K.
Yeah.
So the beauty of the Boilermaker is that it is a challenge, and it can be like this life-transforming thing to go through.
Yep.
I didn't think I could ever run 9.3 miles, but I did, and that sense of accomplishment for somebody like me, your casual, everyday runner, it's pretty impactful, and we want people to experience that.
Yeah.
So this message that it's supposed to be hard. That's exactly what we're trying to tell people.
So it's not to discourage people. It's really just to say, listen. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Exactly.
And, it is hard. Luckily, I feel like we have a lot of great people in the community that do training and really help ease that burden on you a little bit.
Yeah.
WKTV's Go the Distance, which is how I ran my first Boilermaker. That's a great program that you can apply for. But even if you don't apply for that, our members like the Fitness Mill does a great training program. Mohawk Valley Wellness, where I go, John does a great, kind of cross-training program that they get into. Climb Chiropractic, even another one of our members, they do like a yoga for runners with the sneaker store. They do a different thing every week leading up to it. So there's a lot of great community resources if you're looking at this saying like, geez, I really would love to give it a go. But like you said, it's supposed to be hard, and it is hard, and sometimes you just need that support.
Yeah.
And to train properly and not get injured and not be walking up at the expo and saying, maybe I'm not so confident.
Right.
The other thing I should mention, even if you're not picked for Go the Distance, anybody can run with them on Monday nights. And I really found that to be, I would never have done it without that support system.
Yep.
And really just the making sure that you really pound the pavement. You're out there, you're running, you're getting the gist of, the course itself, I think is a really big piece.
Yeah.
And, when you train on the course, it's not so scary on the day of the race, but if you go out and run, a flat 7-8 miles and say, okay, I'm good, I ran 8 miles.
Yeah.
Well, it's not quite that when you get on the course.
Yeah, and the other thing, Meg, and this, is that, it's just different on race day. When you get out there and there's thousands of, the entire city comes out and lines that course and is cheering you on and all the entertainment, and you're kind of being pulled along by this wave of runners who the other runners are super supportive of everybody.
Yeah.
It's just this awesome, collective positive energy thing that just pushes you towards the finish line. And before you know it, you're there, and you're like, oh my God, I really just ran 9.3 miles. I never thought it would be that easy. It may not have felt easy at times, but
it's easy when you're crossing the finish line, right? Then you're like, okay, it's over with, and I'm never doing it again until next year. And then, you know,
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, but it is awesome, and you know, a lot of great resources. But I love that philosophy because, you know, and what an accomplishment knowing that you've done something that is that hard, right? And you know, just that mental problem is really, I think, what gets everybody. You just get in your head and you let it get to you, but once you get out there and you get going and you train and then you feel confident, it makes a world of difference in your mental health, I think, and your physical health. So I love that. So make sure that you check out all the resources because it is hard, and
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's definitely it's supposed to be. So, and with that said, the logo this year I think is great. We did the unveiling of the logo at Boilermaker headquarters. So that's this year's logo. Again, I have to plug it because it was designed by my husband, Ryan McGrogan of McGrogan Design. And then you guys have another event coming up, and maybe this is a good opportunity for people to get training for the Boilermaker. Half marathon's a little bit farther than a 15K, right?
It is.
But there's other opportunities.
It is, but I'll tell you this, and I've never run this particular race, but I've been told that the half marathon is easier than the Boilermaker because it's really a very flat course. And this is an awesome race that we're really excited about. It starts just outside of the Adirondack Bank Center, and the half marathon runs up to the Canal Trail, runs down the Erie Canal, so it's beautiful and scenic, and part of it's almost kind of like trail running, even though 99% of it is paved. And as you come back, you actually run into the Adirondack Bank Center where the Zamboni comes out to clean the ice for the Comets games.
Cool.
And you run in and you run right out onto the arena floor. The ice is obviously not there.
That would make for an interesting ending.
That would be fun. That would be a nice little twist. But you finish right there on the floor, and we've had really good spectator support the past couple years. And then we have a post-race party right out there with there's music and there's of course Saranac products, I don't know if a lot of people know about it. It's the third year that we've done it that way, and it's really growing a lot. We want to see a really big turnout for that. We're really excited about the future of that race, and it also has a 5K event, and there's even a 2-person relay. That's one of the unique things about it.
Yeah, I love that idea.
You can team up with somebody to run that half marathon, so you only have to run half of a quarter marathon.
What is that, 7 miles?
So a half marathon is 13.1. So
So a little under 7.
Yep.
Yeah, 6.5-ish.
Yeah, I think one leg is maybe just a couple tenths of a mile longer than the other, but that makes it really approachable.
Right, so you said 2 people?
Yeah, it's a 2-person relay.
Yeah, so like 6.5 miles a person.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
Yep.
Okay. Ryan's going to see this and be like, oh, you said it wasn't that bad, so does that mean you want to do it?
yeah, there we go, Team McGrogan. Yeah.
But the 5K is good too. I've done the 5K a couple times, and it's pretty. You kind of go over the bridge and by all the businesses there onto the canal path and then back, right?
Yeah. And registration for that race is open right now. So.
Oh, well, there you go. You can get some motivation. And I remember when I did my first Boilermaker, I did run that. And it's a great idea if you're doing the Boilermaker for the first time to run a race prior to, in my opinion anyway. Even if it's just 5K, I just think it kind of gets you, okay, what does it feel like to be lined up, have your bib on, be running with that amount of people, come back. I mean, it just kind of going through a finish line, I think it really helps get some of that jitter out of you. So if you're thinking about it, great opportunity. And I don't, of course you want to run the whole thing, but I don't think there's any harm in, taking it easy and just kind of getting that feel, even if you have to stop and walk a bit. I know everybody that's a runner is like, why is she saying that? But
no, that's okay.
I'm sorry. I just think it's, don't get discouraged. If you feel like you can at least get out there, you might surprise yourself.
Exactly.
I know when I do a 5K, I always surprise myself. Because I'm like, I haven't run in forever. And then once you get out there and get going.
Yeah, you find yourself, you get swept up in the whole atmosphere of the thing. Exactly. Yeah,
so I think that'd be great as if you're a first-time runner to do something like that too.
Yeah.
I had a thought when we were talking about the half marathon and I lost it. So I'll have to come back to it, I guess. But we were talking about other things that you guys are putting on, and I think I lost my thought, but that's okay. But you do have other things coming up.
We do.
Besides the half marathon.
You want me to help you out?
Yes. So tell us a little bit about that. And if I think of the other thing, bring it up again.
So in just what's today? February 5th. So
Yep.
next week.
I have the flyer here,
I believe
too.
it's Thursday of next week. We've actually brought a couple of American Ninja Warriors to Utica. They're going to do a speaking engagement at MVCC that night. Does it have the date on there?
Yep, February 13th.
February 13th. There you go. So these guys, Daniel Gill and Jonathan Horton, if you've ever watched the TV show, these guys are super athletes. And actually, I remember Jonathan Horton from being in the Olympics a couple years ago. He was a gymnast.
Yeah,
He was an American gymnast. And they just have an awesome message that they're going to, communicate that's, right in lockstep with ours, which is healthy lifestyles and, pushing yourself intelligently. But, big things are supposed to be hard to accomplish.
Yep.
That's what makes them good. That's what makes them great, right? So set your goals high. That whole message is we can't hear it too much.
Yeah.
And before the speaking engagement at MV, they're actually going to be doing a tour of local schools in the area.
Oh, awesome.
Doing this, spreading that exact same message to kids.
That's great.
Yep.
So this is at Schaefer Auditorium, right?
Yes.
And is
Schaefer
it free,
Theater.
or do people have to get?
No, they're
Oh no,
tickets.
$10.
Yep.
Okay, $10. Sorry, that's small on the screen. $5 for MVCC employees, and children under 12
Yep.
are free. So definitely great opportunity to bring kids out too. I think and get that message in them young.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome that you guys are bringing something like that. Here, and that's a really cool opportunity. So definitely check that out, February 13th at MVCC, and I think it'll be really neat. And just so you know, if Pat Bescher is watching, Pat is on our board from Mohawk Valley Water Authority.
Yeah.
He's a huge American Ninja Warrior fan. He actually has tried out before, and from what I'm told from Pat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he has a little course in his backyard where he trains for it.
Sounds like a field trip.
I think it does too. So if you're really into American Ninja Warrior, like Pat Bescher is,
come check it out.
he's going to kill me, but you can come check it out. I think that'll be a really neat opportunity. And MVCC does a lot of great speakers that they bring. So, and you guys have the expo there as well, leading up to the Boilermaker.
Yes.
So awesome opportunity. Anything else you guys have coming up that you want to plug or talk about?
That's as far as events go, I think that's what we've got on the near horizon. Our community outreach activities go year round. We have the urban garden, which is next to our office. So as soon as things start to thaw out a little bit, we'll get to work on that. We have a kids running program in a couple of local schools. So we're busy to work on those kind of things. This would be my occasion to just plug, volunteerism, whether it's with the Boilermaker or not. It's just super important that we all take a little bit of responsibility for the area that we live in, and we seek out ways to give back.
Absolutely.
Like I said, whether it's with the Boilermaker or not is irrelevant in my mind, but we certainly have plenty of opportunities for it, that's for sure. But the reason the Boilermaker has become what it is because of the passion of these volunteers. And if this thing is going to continue being what it is for the next 40 years, we're going to need people to step up. That's
and young people too, and that's really important.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, I know. It's imperative, I think, to start people young volunteering, and that's why I say, even the speaking opportunity to bring kids to the American Ninja Warrior thing, just to kind of get them exposed to, what's going on in our community. Right. I think it's really important. And I know we have this discussion a lot at the committee meetings too. Yeah. I mean, people have been involved for many years, but we've got to get some younger people involved in taking ownership of things. So it, like you said, so it sustains for another 40 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Where can people go if they want to find out more about the Boilermaker? Maybe if they want to sign up to volunteer, find out about the race, the half marathon, tell everybody where they can go.
So many places you can go. Obviously, Boilermaker.com would be a good one. Follow us on social media. We're on all social media platforms. Okay. Come to our meetup tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me pull that back up.
Come to the Catalyst meetup tomorrow, because that'll certainly be a topic. We'll be discussing volunteer opportunities with the Boilermaker and elsewhere, I'm sure. Yep. And you get to check out our office a little bit, which, I'm not sure. That's another thing that I think people overlook, that we have a pretty cool office that's filled with Boilermaker memorabilia, and it's pretty nice. We want to show it off a little bit.
It's very nice. And it's nice that you guys are now down right where the action happens at the finish line. You're a little bit closer to the course, a little bit more accessible. Yeah. So that's really great. And like Jordan said, tomorrow night, of course, you can come find out about Catalyst. You can come find out about the Boilermaker for sure. Also, within Catalyst, we said we're going to, talk a little bit about how you can get involved. One of those ways you can get involved, if nothing else, is to participate in the volunteer opportunities that Tina Pavlat, who's involved with Catalyst, puts together. Some of them are as, little commitment as going to the rescue mission and meal prepping for a couple hours on a weekend. Others are participating in things like the Boilermaker, things like the Heart Run and Walk, March of Dimes. They help with the March for Babies. So, I mean, there's all different opportunities. If maybe you're just looking to, find out a way to volunteer for the community, you could come tomorrow night as well.
Yep.
So great opportunity to check out the Boilermaker and check out the things that are going on with the Chamber. Also, do you have anything else you want to plug before I talk about what's coming up with the Chamber? Okay, so also coming up tomorrow night, unfortunately, it is a time conflict with our meetup at the Boilermaker, but you could still make it to both if you budget your time correctly. So the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, which mostly everybody knows is the $10 million that the state awarded to Utica. So there's a local planning committee, which I serve on, that is overseeing the delegation of those funds. And so we are in the process of reviewing all the grant applications that have come in for the DRI. So if you're interested in learning about the process and providing some input on those projects, you can come tomorrow night. We have an open house at the Thinkubator from 4:30 to 7. So if you budget your time right, you can stop by at 4:30. Sure. Leave the Thinkubator and go over to the Boilermaker. But maybe the Catalyst event isn't a fit for you and you still want to go find out a little bit about what's going on in the community. Again, the open house is from 4:30 to 7. There's going to be interactive ways for you to see what's going on, maybe provide some feedback to the local planning committee so we can make our decision on what we're going to submit for the application to the state. So just really quickly, the process. So we were awarded the money, but now all the projects get considered by the LPC, the local planning committee. We submit the application to the state, and then the state comes back and they make the final determination. So we'll actually be submitting a little bit more than the $10 million, and then the state gives the final go ahead. So great opportunity. Just if you're curious about the process, or maybe you don't understand it, or maybe you just want to learn more and give feedback, again, a good opportunity tomorrow night to do that as well. And then after that, I'll pull up our flyer for our next business after hours. We have that coming up at Pizza Boys on February 27th. Pizza Boys is a great local establishment. Of course, they have pizza, but they have a lot of other great food there. They're going to have beer, wine also. And it's $10 for chamber members. Quite a steal if you think about it for 2 hours of pizza, beer, and wine. And it's a great networking opportunity. We like to call it casual networking, but really it's, we've been averaging around 150 people at Business After Hours. So great way to get out in the community and meet people, exchange contacts and really just get out. And again, like we said earlier in the show, those connections are so important. And this is really one of the most basic ways you can get out and meet people in the community. If you're not a chamber member, no worries. You can still come. The pricing is just a little bit different. They're open to everybody. You save a little bit if you register in advance. So please go on and do that at greateruticachamber.org. Bring a friend. Again, it's not just limited to chamber members, but certainly a good way to come out and meet chamber members. He's also going to have live music that night, too. Nice. So you can hang out, and they have a beautiful bar there. It's not just a pizza place. He's got a pizza place on one side and then a really great bar, great beer selection. Yeah, we love going there. And if you've never had their grandma pie, you are missing out on life, let me tell you, because it is amazing. And then lastly, I just wanted to pull up the flyer for, I don't know, is it in here? Which one? Here it is. Okay. Last but not least, of course, our benefit coming up for Brian Donovan, the Balanced Chef. We have a little hashtag Chef Strong. We're all getting shirts and everything made. But that's coming up on Saturday, February 15th from 9 to 11 at Mohawk Valley Wellness. John and Jen Bartholomew are doing a great job at putting this event together. The workout is up there. Again, you do not have to do the workout, but this is a workout that was created by the chef himself he's not being very kind, but let's be honest, he just went through brain surgery. So I think we can go do this workout for Brian. So Chef, I will man up and do it for you. So we're doing a 250 meter ski or row, or you can do a half-mile bike and 10 burpees. The caveat is you have to do that 10 times. But you do get time capped. So, if you don't make it in 25 minutes, then you're just done anyway. So there's a heat every half hour, 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30. Again, you do not have to work out to come, nor do you have to do this workout if you come. There's always scaling options. Again, this community at Mohawk Valley Wellness is very judgment-free. We would be more than happy to help you scale the workout to anything that suits you. And again, you can just also come, make a donation, grab breakfast. We have great basket raffles that are coming in. I already have 15 different raffle items. I know that's going to grow, so a good opportunity to come win some cool stuff, and all while making a donation to Brian and his family. And like I said, we're going to be doing Leveling Up Live from the event too. So you can come give a shout out to Brian on the show if you'd like to do that. We're going to certainly talk about his journey, and the way he's handling this is just such an inspiration. A lot of people wouldn't take the positivity road, and he 100% is. And is a great friend of ours, and we're so happy to support him. So you can come out and join us. Again, open to the public on February 15th, 9 to 11 at Mohawk Valley Wellness, which is right on River Road in Marcy. So, Jordan, I think that's going to wrap it up for us, unless you have anything else you want to share.
No, that was good.
What are you having for dinner?
That was a strong hour.
It was a strong hour. We're going to Manja for dinner. So we're having pizza. You can see there's a theme here.
I might have pizza too. Now
that we're talking about the grandma pie, maybe we'll have pizza boys instead. But anyway, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate you spending an hour with us, or maybe just a little bit of the hour. But as always, you can find the podcast on all of the Disruption Network platforms, also on greateruticachamber.org. And if you'd like to just listen in, whether you're in the car or, cleaning the house or whatever, you can tune on just the audio version, which is on all of podcast platforms. Just search Leveling Up with Megan McGrogan. So that's going to do it for us.
Thanks, Meg.
We hope to see you guys again soon. And thanks for coming in, Jordan.
Yeah, we
had a lot of fun. So we'll see you guys soon.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.